Hey, church family, Pastor Ben here with According to the Word, a daily devotional to offer you encouragement, hope, and guidance from God's Word. Do you feel close to the Lord today? What about yesterday and the day before that? What I've discovered in my own Christian life is that some days, some seasons of life, I do feel really close to the Lord. I can sense His presence. He gives me a deep and satisfying joy in knowing that I am His child, that He loves me, that I am saved through my faith in Jesus Christ. But there are other times, days, weeks, even months, where I don't feel close to the Lord. I don't have that joy in Him and in the reality of what He's done for me through Christ. And often in those moments, I'm listening to myself. I'm listening to different thoughts that are popping into my head, wondering what's wrong with me. Why don't I feel close to the Lord? Maybe those times when I did feel close to Him were actually a farce. It wasn't real. It was just something I imagined. Maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm not even a Christian at all because I don't feel it. And in those moments, I'm basing my relationship with God on my feelings. I'm elevating what I feel to the primary spot in determining where I'm at in my relationship with God, and I'm listening to myself. But I want to encourage you, and this is something I've learned over and over again, that in those moments, instead of elevating our feelings to the primary position, instead of listening to ourselves, we need to talk to ourselves. You need to talk to yourself and tell yourself, remind yourself of what's true and what you believe, regardless of how you feel. One of my favorite books of all time, and I've read it over and over again. I return to it all the time because it's been so helpful to me, is this book called Spiritual Depression. It's by a guy named Martin Lloyd-Jones, who was a pastor in the 1900s over in England. And this is such a helpful book. And he says this on a chapter in a chapter on feelings. He says, "Now this is something we can do. I cannot make myself happy, but I can remind myself of my belief. I can exhort myself to believe. I can address my soul as the psalmist did in Psalm 42. This is what it says in Psalm 42. Why art thou cast down, O my soul, and why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God." He goes on to say, hope thou, believe thou, trust thou, that is the way. And then our feelings will look after themselves. Don't worry about them. Talk to yourself. And though the devil will suggest that because you do not feel, you are not a Christian, say, no, I do not feel anything, but whether I feel or not, I believe the Scriptures. I believe God's word is true, and I will stay my soul on it. I will believe in it, come what may. Put belief in the first place and hold on to it. When you don't feel close to the Lord, when you're in a season of doubt and despair, when God seems distant, instead of just relying on your feelings, instead of just listening to yourself, talk to yourself. Like the psalmist in Psalm 42, why are you downcast, O my soul? Hope thou in God. Remind yourself of what is true. And when you do that, God will strengthen your faith. When you continue to seek Him and strive after Him, He will meet you where you are. He will speak to you through His Word. He will give you that peace and joy that He promises to give us in His Word. But we have to continue to seek Him. We have to continue to strive after Him even when we don't feel it. So I don't know where you're at today. I don't know what you're feeling, the emotions you're experiencing in regards to your relationship with God, but regardless of what you feel, remind yourself of what is true. Talk to yourself and place faith and belief above what you feel, because honestly, our feelings are fickle and fleeting. They're not super reliable. We need to focus on our faith and then let our feelings follow after that and be impacted by that.